He's the head coach of the 76ers. He's Brett Brown, who joins us on the program. Coach, how you feeling?
I'm doing okay, Dan. How are you?
Well, I can hear that voice. That's mid-season form voice there for a coach. But at what point, do you take losses home with you?
Oh, for sure. I mean, how can you not? And with that, you've taken a lot home this year. It's just, I think for me, Dan, just trying to stay focused on bottom line stuff, why I came here, what our bottom line objectives are, so that we can make sure that we implement some level of a culture and habits as the season comes to an end.
But you trade Spencer Hawes, Evan Turner, you bring in Granger, but then you buy him out. Are you told in advance exactly what the game plan here is of the front office, since you have to coach these guys?
Well, yes to you. The simple answer is yes. I spent 12 years with Pop and the Spurs, and really that was my only NBA job. And during that time, all 12 of those years, we never won anything less than 50 games. You went to 5 NBA championships, you won 4 of them, and the decision when you leave there is you try to buy into the overall philosophy that the owners of the Philadelphia 76ers mapped out, and theirs was, we want to try to do something better than the 38 to 40-something wins that we've experienced in the last 11 years. And to do that, we need to rebuild the program. And so that's the long answer. At times it's difficult, I admit, but it is part of the plan.
But it's on your resume, Brett. You go from Greg Popovich, one of the greatest coaches in the history of basketball, and your pride has to be at stake, right? I mean, I don't care how bad the team is. It's still you're coaching this team, and it goes on your coaching resume.
And that is true, and that is true. The thing that I feel, I'm 53 years old. I've been around a long time. I've been lucky to, coach in Olympic Games and coach in NBA championships and be a part of some fantastic staffs. And my goal, my attraction to this program was that I thought that if we could ever get it right, because I was raised in New England and spent lots of time in Boston and watching the Celtics in Philadelphia. To me, it's such a hard sporting city. It's a blue-collar city. They demand, effort. They demand at some point trying to get something special done, as we saw the other night with Allen Iverson's retirement. And I just felt like I was at a stage where I wanted the challenge, and it would be a blemish on a coaching record, but I feel like at this stage for me, that's not my motivation. I hope to be a part of something special and build something special here.
Do you think you'll win another game this year? Not hope, but do you think you will?
I do, Dan. And, that question was, I suppose, honestly or accurately asked a few games ago, and it was always in the back of my mind when you look at the roster that we have. We have the youngest team in the history of the sport. Think of that. And, we're going about it playing against these teams that are getting ready for the playoffs or have had the whole team the whole year. And some of the guys that I have, we just shook their hands 72 hours ago. And so apart from having a very young team, now it's like you're back at preseason. I feel like if we can buy some time, that we'll play with enough energy where we can go steal a win. I think that there is a win in the group, maybe a few, but I go about my job, every day trying to do that. And I funny enough, I really love the job. I love coming into the gym and coaching these guys.
He's Brett Brown, the 76ers head coach, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. If Nerlens Noel was healthy enough to play, would management play him this season?
I believe they would.
Is he healthy enough?
No, he most definitely isn't. And I see him. I've been with him all year, and I see him come into a gym and go through the tick the boxes charts that we put him through medically, where he's got to do different things. I wished he was, Dan. I personally would love the opportunity to touch him, for 10, 12 games, see him on the floor and play him and coach him. I think he's going to be a real difference maker behind the scenes. He's incredibly young. People have to remember that he's only 19 years old. And he looks it athletically. He's gifted for sure. But I think that guess, is he going to play or isn't he, is still up in the air.
I would have Allen Iverson represent the team at the lottery. What do you think?
Good for you. I hear you. That's an interesting call. I tell you what. When you go into the gym, when you go into the gym the other night and you see 21,000 people, they just love him. And really, use that again as an example. They went to the NBA Finals. Now that's a hell of an accomplishment, no doubt. But it wasn't. It's not like we won multiple championships and they're bringing back, Duncan. It's a real credit to an incredibly gifted player. I'm such a fan of Allen Iverson.
Could Iverson play for your team this year?
I doubt it. I think his fitness level. Who knows? I tell you what. You'd love his swagger. He brings something so special to the table. But we respect everything he's done in the city for sure.
Well, you know what? Hang in there. You went from the best organization, I think, in all of sports, and hopefully 76ers will keep you around when this team gets better. That's the key with this, Brett. But thank you for joining us, and I know we'll root for you to get a couple of wins. You may not want to get too many wins. You want more ping pong balls, but thanks for joining us.
And Dan, don't you feel sorry for us. We're good over here. I appreciate your interest.
All right, buddy. That's Brett Brown, 76ers head coach.